Welcome to A Canadian Investing in the U.S., a podcast and YouTube channel focused on Canadians buying real estate with host Glen Sutherland.
Welcome to a new episode of A Canadian Investing in the U.S. with Glen Sutherland. This week, my guest is Chris Prefontaine. Chris has been on the show twice already. So if we get talking about terms, we get talking about like some creative financing, literally go back and listen to those other episodes as well. You can find them on my show. They're really good ones. Also Zach, Chris's son-in-law, has been on the show. He also was a speaker at my conference last year. A lot of good information from this group. So anyway, Chris, if you want to give everybody a bit of an introduction to yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. I've been at this 34 years. So as I usually say in your show, I won't take 3 hours to do that. But yeah, I've been at this for a while. We did some building in the 90s. I bought a Realty Executives franchise. So I put my broker hat on, had never done that. Sold that to Coldwell Banker around 2000-ish. And what got me here, Glenn, as you recall, is the crash. I mean, we went through the '08 crash. It took me 4 years until 2012 to go, oh, I got to get my head out of my butt and get back to work. I was just blaming it on myself and all the stuff that goes on during a financial crisis. So to get back in the trenches, though, I had to buy without banks, and because I had no credit, and I had to buy without money of mine because I had no money. I had to move into a one-bedroom apartment, literally, my wife and I. So after being in real estate 17 or 18 years at that time, that was the card I was dealt. And instead of putting my head in the sand, which some people still are, head in the sand since '08, believe it or not, we finally came out of that 4 years later. And fast forward, we help students, community members all over North America now do deals, and we do them with them. We revenue share because I know now in hindsight for 34 years, one of the biggest challenges, if not the biggest, is, we see these people, you run events, they go to these events and it sounds great. And then they go out to do deals and they get discouraged and they think it's them. It's not, it's just reality, is shit happens. So we get in there and we do what we call interactive approach and help them get through the deals and get through the mud and get through the challenges. So we're in 80 markets now. It's an update for you since your last show. And that's a lot of markets we're touching. So we get to see a lot that goes on out there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, a ton of stuff. And Chris and I were just talking right before we hit the record button, and we were talking about lending and the difficulties and how it continues to change. And I think, like what we were literally saying, this segues so well into doing creative deals and not needing the banks so well, because just talking about foreign national loans, like what Canadians would get when investing in the U.S., and even for myself, someone with a visa, just the terms that keep changing and keeping ahead of the banks and what they're willing to do and what their kind of loans they're looking for to resell. It keeps changing, and sometimes you have exactly what they want, and then they change their mind, and you have to find another lender. Anyway, it's a whole rigmarole, and the easier way to do this is to easier or more creative way to do this is just to leave them out, right? So what do you find in works right now? Is there certain creative strategies that are working better than other ones? Because just maybe I'll give a little bit of background for myself. I used to be big into short sales and some sub twos and stuff like that. And then certain times, when you get into certain markets that are really hot, that people aren't interested in those things as the COVID ended up or was finishing up. And sometimes those were harder to get because people were like, I could just sell it now because the market's so hot. So some things sort of stop and certain things sort of start, and they sort of go in cycles for strategies as well. Are you finding one that works better than others?
This is good because, I agree 1,000,000% with you with the banking. Let me just make a quick comment on that. You got statistically, you got about 20%-ish what they call fractured closings, they're falling apart at the closing table. And then it was a week or two ago, Glenn, and I forget the source honestly, but it said they just segregated buyers only, and they said 15% of buyers are either walking or getting pinned at the closing table with, I didn't know I had all these fees. So the underwriting is just so difficult, Canadian, US, everywhere, and so it's pushing people aside. So what are we seeing? To combat that stuff you were saying with the market kind of doing its thing, because you're right, when it's hot, they're like, I got it, especially FSBOs, right? Yeah. But when it starts to be now in US, the media screaming at them saying how bad things are, they now go, oh, shoot, I think I need you. So how do you combat that to make it smooth? Well, you just deal with off-market properties, ideally. Let me give you an example. We just got, just probably 4 months now. We have access to a brand new list. We're going to feature this at our upcoming event in Boston, Glenn. It's called Distressed. I don't know if Zach have talked to you about this, but it's really cool because most people think as investors, you've touched it like pre-foreclosure and only having to do with the house. This distress list pulls for metrics. It pulls, are they late on utility, rent, medical, auto payments, and personal loans? And there's 4 levels of distress. They rate them, and every month you get an adjustment. So somebody at level 1 might move to level 4 because they missed more payments. So just as an example. But my point is, this list is so cool because it's before the house slips, right? They didn't slip yet with the house, presumably. That is a really, really cool list that we've been adding to our sort of our bag of tricks. And then things like free and clear. To this day, I've been doing this for 12 years just creatively, and I love free and clear, and I love free and clear out of the area owners, right?
Yeah.
So these are all lists that have nothing to do with these nuances in the market. Just so everybody's clear.
Yeah.
And so what if you are like at the whim of the market? Just know that with creative, you can pivot, right? You're just fishing in different ponds now is all I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And even myself, I always look at it. I made a spreadsheet and it just basically puts it into each of the strategies. And, because sometimes even if you can get to collect a lot of information before you talk to these people, and
Yeah.
you can eliminate certain strategies. So you're not trying to, convince them to do a sub 2 when it won't actually work.
You're exactly right.
What you're looking for. Or, for instance, right? You just mentioned a list, and you're ranking them from 1 to 4. Is that a list you buy, or is that something you guys do internally and then you have to keep updating it yourself? Where does that information come from? Are you interested in investing in the US? I honestly see Canadians making tons of mistakes, simple mistakes that could be avoided by just a quick phone call. Honestly, I think we should just get on a 15-minute call. You ask me some questions, I answer some questions, and I tell you a little bit about the coaching program. We see if it's a fit. My coaching program is completely different than other people's. What my goal is to help you actually implement the material. All the videos are pre-recorded, so you can just zip through those on your own time. But when you're actually buying property, this is what sets me apart, is that we actually sit down, you do your deal analysis, you have questions, ask me some questions. Let me go through it with you. Let me help you. And this is what's going to set it apart. This is why you're going to avoid mistakes. You're going to miss those little things that you just missed that could cost you a lot of money. Maybe I can see it. Maybe my experience. I've been doing this for a while down in the US. Let me help you. Let's do a quick 15-minute call. If that's of interest to you, go to glensutherland.com and you can book a 15-minute call. Anyway, hope this is helpful. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, good question. It's a company provides it to us.
Yep.
And then you can either get it once. Like when it first came out, I'm like, all right, let me experiment with it. To get it once, you can mail to it, call it. We have our VAs doing both. And then if you want, you don't have to, you can do it monthly and get those updates. So instead of doing it monthly, we do it every 3-ish because you don't need to have that. The data is the data, right? If they get worse, okay, I'm still calling them, right? So yeah, they update it for us, and I can give you that link later if you want to throw it in the show notes. It's a cool resource.
Sure. Yeah, no, it's interesting and how to do that. And so, I know with you guys, you don't actually physically have to call these leads, right? So you have your VAs do that part for you.
Yeah, most of the time, I say most of the time because when I was broke in say the summer of 13, I'm like, I can't afford a VA, so I did my first deal, then I got a VA part time. I ramped up, but now I do nothing. I do none of that now. So, and we teach the community members, have a virtual assistant, make these calls, and they're trained now, Glenn, internally. So everybody goes, yeah, I can get a VA. You can, but most of them are trained wholesale and flipping. They're not trained creative. So we have a group that Zach used to run. He used to train them all. And then we're like, what are we doing in the VA business? This is awful. So we gave it back to the guy and said, you do it. I don't want an affiliate fee. I don't want anything. We'll send all our people to you. We just want good VAs. And so they're trained. They go through our course, our Quantum Leap system, home study program. So they're tuned. And a lot of the community members have the same VA in different parts of the country. So they all help them. So this ramp up of VA skill sets has been amazing for us.
Yeah, no, I have some VAs myself, and it's one of the fine things I find it difficult is just the you almost have to re-listen to some of the calls. How often do you recommend to do that in order to keep them sharp?
Critiques. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Two things. Good point. We listen to when I say we, each community member who has that VA will listen to that call. But if there's 3 or 4 of them that have the same VA, they're going to collaborate so they're not, recreating the wheel. Example, I have a VA now that I had to wait like 18 months. I own the company and I had to wait for this VA for like 18 months because I knew how good she was. She was trained by 2 of our top people. And then when she freed up some hours, I finally got her. I don't have to listen to her call. I don't have to train her. I don't have to do anything. Like she's been totally tuned in. It's like a team member. But the students, if they're brand new to that VA, will listen to 2, 3 calls a week. Because think about it. If the VA gives you more than 2 or 3 calls, they're all going to have the same mistakes. Yeah. So we do the same with our students. We go, look, give us 2 calls. Let us critique them. Go back, put those in action. Then send me 2 more. Don't send me 4. I'm going to give you the same errors through the whole thing,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It's one of those things it saves me a lot of time and takes a lot of time as the VAs.
It is time consuming. Yeah. We're bringing AI in for that, by the way. You might want to think about that. So we're training the bots to critique the calls because the coaches spend hours and hours doing it.
Oh, so you went a different way. Like we're adding AI to ours as well. I wasn't thinking about using it for the critiquing.
We just started.
Just to do like conversations on Facebook Messenger, just to answer preliminary calls and, do call booking and stuff like that. Yeah. Like just some of the stuff that just eats some of their time, right?
Yeah. So add the critique. You just got to load it all, as you know. We got loads of them.
And honestly, it's one of those things like I just did one, I think in August, but I like to do like a week-long like time audit, and you just write down all the stuff you do. And then I usually like to look back at my list and be like, how can I get rid of some of these things I'm doing? Like, should I be really doing this? But yeah. Okay.
Glenn, I call that I make our students do that too. Or let me say this. I invite them to do that. I call it the diary exercise, and it's grueling. My coach has me do it twice a year. It's hard to do for anyone to do, but it's super, super eye-opening to your point.
Oh yeah. I just set an alarm. Otherwise I forget. I'll get to the end of the day. I didn't write down what I did. Then I'm just making stuff up, and that wasn't helpful. Okay. Chris, I asked this question at the start and I realized that we got talking about other stuff, but strategies, like what strategies are you finding are working? When investing in the US, Canadians make so many small mistakes. They assume everything's the same. They don't understand all the intricacies. If you just would like a free guide on some of the common mistakes that I see Canadians making, just go to CanadianInvestingInTheUSA.com/mistakes and check out my free guide. And while you're there, if you want to book a phone call, I'm open. Me personally, not some other person. I'm personally open to doing a 15-minute phone call with anyone, answering some questions, sharing some experiences. So if that's of interest to you, please go ahead and do so. For people.
Yeah, that was my fault. I went off on a tangent.
No. I asked like 3 questions at the same time.
Okay. Strategy right this second, given the current market, I could give you a different in a month, would be twofold. Subject to, for the fact that there are still, I don't have the stat in front of me, but loads of mortgages still in that 2, 3, 4% range. Man, oh man, why would you not go after those? Because if they're in dire need and they have a mortgage rate of 2, 3, or 4%, that's a highly motivated person, right? Because if not, they would keep it. That's a good mortgage rate. Yeah. Secondly is I'm going to always go to the free and clear, because with the free and clear, they're not at the whim of the market, number one. Number two, a free and clear owner with no mortgage typically is not stressed, typically has time, and typically just wants the best price. Great. Give me a 10-year term. I'm working on a deal right now with a woman that had it on the open market. She's overpriced. I said, you're overpriced. I'm your only buyer that's going to look at this, but I need 10 years. And I think she's going to do it. So that's a $250,000 deal for me. And if the house is I'm going to buy it for like $780, but our 3 paydays. So over time, that thing's a $250,000 deal. Well, how many of those do you need in the course of a year, right? Free and clear. So free and clear and sub 2.
Yeah. And I totally know your three payday thing. For someone's just like, what is he talking about? Should we suggest them to go back to one of the old podcasts, or you want to go over that quick and like?
I'll just say a quick comment about it. Go to the old podcast. But the fact is, when I get out of the crash to my earlier story, I was like, look, if I'm going to get back after this, I do not want to do a deal and get paid. Do a deal and get paid, because now I feel like I got a job again. And I was getting on in years. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I created the 3 paydays. And I trademarked it federally in the US, and it just means this: payment now up front, just like you normally would do in a deal. Okay, that's like the old deals. You do a deal, get paid. Second, once you launch a deal, you get paid monthly. And third, when you cash out the deal, you get that back end. You can learn how those work in some of our free stuff, but it's an ideal business model, Glenn. If you and I were going to open a restaurant and someone said to us, hey, I got a model that could get you paid now, monthly, and then long term, we'd be like, all right, that's a cool cash flow model, right? So it works in any business.
Yep. No, I totally agree. And I've implemented that into my business in as many of the deals as possible, because the strategy that a lot of people is buy this house and get paid someday. And
Right.
that's tiring. You can't keep that up. Like I remember some of my first properties I ever bought, even in Canada, and we did a refinance, we got our money back, and we're like, hey, this is a perfect strategy, except it doesn't really cash flow much anymore. And you know
Right.
what happens? Partner gets tired of that real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, you got to find a way to get paid, right? With this, and it is one of those ways, adding these strategies on top of your an actual deal, or an actual, in some of these you could even, maybe we could talk about this. Do any of your students use like the MLS or Realtors, and then combine creative strategies on those kind of deals?
Interesting time for you to ask this, because wholesalers, flippers, and realtors are right now referring people in our community lots of deals. There's one gentleman in Florida, Jeff.
Yeah.
We do nightly accountability. He hit me almost every night this week saying, hey, I got a couple more incoming from, and the blank was wholesaler, realtor, or flipper. Yeah, they're, as you know, they're like, I don't want to say in a panic, but they're hurting for biz right now, right? A lot of them. So it's not that we're going to MLS, no, but we're getting relationships with the wholesalers, the flippers, and the realtors for what? To compete? No. Anything that doesn't fit in their box. You have an expired listing, you can't sell it. Instead of having egg on face, refer it. Say, I have a specialist that can buy this from you, or a partner. You're a wholesaler, you're a flipper, you get a lead. There's no equity in it. You just can't see a way to get that thing at 60 cents on the dollar or 70 cents. So you refer it to us. We can eke out, believe it or not, on a house that's leveraged to the hilt, we can eke out 100 grand over the next few years. So yeah, there's a reason for them to do that, and it's about relationship building. And we even have done a few videos for the community members. So if you're a realtor, for example, and I'm talking to you and I'm brand new, I go, look, go watch this video, and they get me on a video explaining why and how they can work with us. No brainer. If the realtor has a brain, it's a no brainer.
Well, yeah, because like honestly, they're not going to get paid anything if they don't sell the house.
Exactly.
Do you find that the realtors are still asking for the same fee, their same 3%, 2%, whatever they have,
with us, you mean?
locked on? Like, if they're going to sell the house for the homeowner, they were going to charge that homeowner a fee. Do you find that they still want to get paid that fee, or do they get more open to other?
It depends. Because they should be morally and ethically looking at the client and go, hey, this is best for you, go talk to them, right? And we'll send them, like, call it a marketing fee, legally call it whatever you want. We'll send them a fee. Yeah, it's usually equal to up to about 25% of the payday one for us. Now, I tell the realtors, look, if you want to double dip, and in 2 or 3 years when this house cashes out, if the owner has the equity and you want to talk to them about it, that's your relationship with them. I don't want to get in the way. I'm still going to pay you. So they can double dip if they want, if that's a win-win for their client. Like if the client's getting plenty of equity at the end, okay, talk to them. It's up to you, not me.
Yeah, no, love it. Chris, before I let you go, you want to tell us a little bit about Wicked Smart, a little bit about your company, and people are interested in working with you guys, how could do so?
Yeah, thank you. And to your earlier point about the 3 paydays. So I'm big on free. So we're going to send everybody that wants it for free our best-selling. We'll give you a couple best-selling books, and it's no shipping cost. We'll ship it out to you guys. That way you can look at the 3 paydays and just on your own time take a peek. Go to wickedsmartbooks.com/Glen. I've always honored Glen's tribe, and we'll get those books out to you. There's also a free class. We shortened it, Glen. It's the master's class. Just go to smartrealestatecoach.com/master's class. It's like 25-30 minutes tops. And you're not, it's a replay. You do it at your own time. If after those free resources you want more, let's chat. That's all. And the regular website is just smartrealestatecoach.com.
Awesome. Well, Chris, like always, tons of content. Always giving me an idea for another strategy. Yeah. I use
Good
realtors.
stuff.
I use creative stuff. You just put them all together. I love it. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, buddy. Good to see you.
That was a nice video. Bye.